Let's move to the IG report. That, of course, the other big thing happening. IG Horowitz will be testifying tomorrow. What do you want to hear from him?
Well, we're going through the report. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle has dismissed it, but there are several things. You heard the Attorney General talk about things where it looks like they were less than stellar in the way they went about getting warrants and conducting the investigation. You have to think about this, too. This was about a 2-year investigation, tens of millions of dollars being spent. You would have expected this investigation to be an A+, but we do see some lapses that we'll cover in the committee, and I suspect it won't be the last committee we hear on it.
Did you see James Comey's piece in the Washington Post, your local newspaper there this morning?
I have not read it this morning, but you never know. It may be James Comey that's one of the people that get an opportunity to come speak with us.
Will you pursue him?
Well, I think it all comes down to what we hear on the during the hearing on Wednesday. But as we go through and we digest the report, we ask additional questions. I think anyone involved in the investigation, particularly in a supervisory capacity, is fair game for additional questions that may have to be asked of them.
So the title is "The Truth is Finally Out" from Comey. The FBI fulfilled its mission. He says human beings make mistakes. That's his bottom line, and apparently people have to accept that down the road. John Durham is still doing his investigation. From MSNBC yesterday, James Comey had this comment.
John Durham, as I said, I don't know him really well, but he has a strong professional relationship. That's the only thing he has to lose here, and so that should give us some comfort that he will be guided only by the facts. But this statement, commenting on his work while he's still doing it, is confusing and concerning. Just
so our viewers know the statement he made, he referred to not agreeing with the conclusions on behalf of Horowitz. Go ahead.
Well, I think we've just got to, again, we read the written word of the testimony and then we find more facts. That's our job in judiciary. The oversight process won't begin and end on Wednesday. I think there are a number of serious questions raised in the report. We'll start on Wednesday, but we'll continue this probably through the first part of the year. The fact of the matter is, again, this investigation was sweeping. It looks like in many instances people were a little bit less than focused on some of the information that they used as a basis for going forward with the warrants. This is not just about the investigation of the president or Russia collusion or obstruction. This is about the integrity of the Department of Justice, and we owe it to all the great people in the Department of Justice to get to the facts and then have consequences if we think there was something that went beyond what we think is acceptable behavior.
A specific question on that. This court's been in business since the 1970s. Based on what we hear, they've approved 99% of the cases that come before them. With that, do you want to put the FISA court judges under oath and ask them your own questions?
Well, I'm not sure if we'll do that. I'll defer to the chair and basically wait until we see the facts unfold. Unlike some of my colleagues on the other side of the Hill, we want all of our investigations to be fact-based. If it rises to a level to where we have to bring a judge before the committee, I would support it. But I think more importantly, we've got to go back and take a look at the FISA process, transparency and accountability, and have that be a part of the discussion as we go into legislating next year.
Yeah, I want to talk about what's coming up. That, of course, Durham's investigation, where there could be criminal charges. We can bring up what he said yesterday. He said our investigation has included developing information from other persons, other entities, both in the U.S. and outside of the U.S., and then it goes on from there. Who do you think would be facing criminal charges?
Well, I think that'll probably become, that'll be a discussion after we have the hearing. You know, we just got the report yesterday. It's 500 pages long, and we're focusing on the facts. The hearing is really an introduction to the report. I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions that may help answer yours, but this is going to be a part of a process. Like I said, it's not once and done on Wednesday. There was a lot of work put in by Horowitz. We've got to hear that, and then we've got to follow down whatever path there may be and hold people accountable when we think the law is violated.
And you made it clear that this will go into the new year as well.